Hi friends, welcome to our read aloud today for Holes. We are finally going to end our chapter today. It has been a very long chapter, but part of that reason is because we kept flashing back to the past so that we can kind of understand Stanley's journey and why he blames his no good, dirty, rotten pig stealing great-great-grandfather. So yesterday we learned that Ela had left and went to America and didn't take Madame Zeroni up the hill with him. And we had learned that Stanley was still digging his hole. He was one of the last ones that was still going to be out there digging his hole, and that Zero was the first one. So today we're going to find out what happens with Stanley's first hole and with Ela. So here we go. In America, now he's there, Ela learned to speak English. He fell in love with a woman named Sarah Miller. She could push a plow, milk a goat, and most important, think for herself. Because remember, Mira Minky didn't have a brain in there. She and Ela often stayed up half the night talking and laughing together. Their life was not easy. Ela worked hard, but bad luck seemed to follow him everywhere. He always seemed to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. He remembered Madame Zeroni telling him that she had a son in America. Ela was forever looking for him. He'd walk up to complete strangers and ask if they knew someone named Zeroni, or if he had ever heard of someone named Zeroni. No one did. Ela wasn't sure what he'd do if he ever found Madame Zeroni's son anyway. Carry him up a mountain and sing the pig lullaby to him? After his barn was struck by lightning for the third time, he told Sarah about his broken promise to Madame Zeroni. "I'm worse than a pig thief," he said. "You should leave me and find someone who isn't cursed." "I'm not leaving you," said Sarah, "but I want you to do one thing for me." "Anything," said Ela. Sarah smiled. "Sing me the pig lullaby." He sang it to her. Her eyes sparkled. "That's so pretty. What does it mean?" Ela tried his very best to translate it from Latvian into English, but it wasn't the same. "It rhymes in Latvian," he told her. "I could tell," said Sarah. A year later, their child was born. Sarah named him Stanley because she noticed that Stanley was Yelnats spelled backwards. Sarah changed the words of the pig lullaby so that they rhymed, and every night she sang it to little Stanley. If only the woodpecker sighs, the bark on the tree was as soft as the skies, while the wolf waits below, hungry and lonely, crying to the moon, if only, if only. Back to the present. Stanley's hole was as deep as his shovel, but not quite wide enough. He grimaced as he sliced off a chunk of dirt, then raised it up and flung it onto a pile. He laid his shovel back down on the bottom of his hole, and, to his surprise, it fit. He rotated it and only had to chip off a few chunks of dirt here and there, but it could lie flat across the hole in every direction. He heard the water truck approaching and felt a strange sense of pride at being able to show Mr. Sir or Mr. Pandansky that he had dug his first hole. He put his hands on the rim and tried to pull himself up. He couldn't do it. His arms were too weak to lift his heavy body. He used his legs to help, but he just didn't have enough strength. He was trapped in his hole. It was almost funny, but he wasn't in the mood to laugh. "Stanley!" he heard Mr. Pandansky call. Using his shovel, he dug 2 footholes in the footwall. He climbed out to see Mr. Pandansky walking over to him. "I was afraid you fainted," said Mr. Pandansky. "You wouldn't have been the first one." "I'm finished," Stanley said, putting his blood-spotted cap back on his head. "All right," said Mr. Pandansky, raising his hand for a high five, but Stanley ignored it. He didn't have the strength. Mr. Pandansky lowered his hand and looked down at Stanley's hole. "Well done," he said. You want to ride back? Stanley shook his head. I'll walk. Mr. Pendanski climbed back into the truck without filling Stanley's canteen. Stanley waited for him to drive away, then took another look at the hole. He knew it was nothing to be proud of, but he felt proud nonetheless. He sucked up his very last bit of saliva and spat. And we have reached the end of chapter 7. I will see you for another read aloud soon. Remember, be kind, smile, and have a